Hello there, survivors, and welcome back to another stream here in ARK Survival Ascended. We're back on Valguero, and today we're gonna build something here on the side of the big lake. I don't know why I started here at the dodo. Just found the dodo whilst waiting to start streaming. You know, had to zoom in onto it. So yeah, we're gonna build here, actually over there on the side of the lake. Pretty cool view of the redwoods behind us, and of course the chalk cliffs right next door too, and access to the whole big lake. So yeah, we'll see how far we'll get, what we'll exactly end up building. I've got a little bit of an idea, and we'll see how far we can take that and how well we can turn that into something really nice over here. So yeah, there we go. There's my little shark, and I've already kind of laid down a foundation. Not entirely sure if that's the one I'll be sticking to. Just kind of like guessed if this spot is going to be big enough without running into landscape problems. Seems like we're going to be fine, and also seems like we're getting lots of mist for some reason. Let's not do that. We want to be able to see where we're building. So yeah, we're gonna start building right over there. It looks like we're fine landscape wise, at least for these foundations that I've laid out at the moment. But of course we can always change that if really necessary, although we do not have too much space behind, because I mean, I'm pretty sure that I can't go too much for the back, although I can actually go a little bit further if I really wanted to. But yeah, that all remains to be seen, of course, if I do or do not want to do that. Actually, I do think we'll do a little bit of this, maybe too wide on the ends, and then I actually want to have a metal foundation that is the smaller version, so that we can probably have a gate back here, because I mean, it's of course aimed at the lakeside, but at least in my case here, it makes more sense to have a bigger entrance for dinos here at the back, because, well, this is where you would probably come from. So we will add that in, and of course we're going to use some cosmetics and stuff to make it look even nicer eventually. But for now, we're going to place these down. I'm not allowed to place down the final stairs. This is quite sad. No, this is Valguero. Valguero. Right at the lake. Chalk cliffs. Green up in the distance. So yeah, that's going to definitely be a nice entrance, I think, over here. Because if we then take out the barn doors, we could have a nice entrance over here, I think. I don't know which side. I mean, I guess we're gonna probably skin them anyway, but vanilla wise, I think we like the look of this. So yeah, that could be the entrance going to the outside. And then I think around that, I'd actually probably want to start by having some more wood. So basically what I want to do is I want to build something modern. Oh, I'm still have my extra life things on, apparently. Let me fix that. Also, welcome to the memberships. The best Leonard. Welcome in. Let me see. Can I fix these messages? Because I keep forgetting, and then every time I start streaming and the message isn't even right. Let's see if I can fix this now. Sorry about that. I guess you could still donate to Extra Life as well, if you wanted to. We did raise enough for the quets, which I'm quite happy about. Right, let's see. Can I remove these messages from popping up? I don't know. I'm very good at these things. Timers. There we go. I think I did it. Maybe I've done it. Maybe I've not. We will find out. So yeah, that entrance is always going to be here, I think. And then We kind of want to build something around it with stone. I don't know if I'll actually keep it like stone, but at least this indicates to me that these side bits is going to be a different material than the middle over here. Then I probably actually also want to have this continue. So I basically want to build this in a little bit. It also means that I want a stone ceiling. There we go. So basically that way the entrance would be one back from the actual wall, give it a little bit more depth that way. Do is probably have like just a wooden accent wall there, and then maybe some wooden windows, like either frontier or, you know, a different skin over there. I think that could be quite a nice look. Of course, there's so many good wood skins nowadays, both free and premium, that you could do a bunch of things for sure. There we go. Yeah, I think something like that would be nice. But definitely that is going to be a window. So just to remind myself, maybe we'll grab the frontier skin for now as a placeholder at least. So that we know that that side is going to be a window. Which I think would be quite nice. And then maybe we could have a pillar to divide that up a little bit more. There we go. Might even I need. I got a spot in Lake on Val. Oh, that's pretty nice. Yeah, it's a pretty nice lake. Like, it's a iconic feature. So I thought a little base here on the lakeside might be nice. All right, so what do we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just add maybe like that. And then we could have an entrance going through to the other side. Because I guess you still want to connect all these different sections that we might have going on here. Because, I mean, there is definitely going to be different sections to this first layer of the build. And of course, this main layer that we're working on right now is going to be mostly like a dino pen. Now, over here, I kind of want to have a feature that will go all the way through to the next layer, but I kind of maybe want to design it around where we could have the industrial forge. Okay, so let's say we would have that. It probably has to be 3, right, for the industrial forge. There you go. I could snap like that and it would be in the middle of those places. So basically what we want to do is we want to have a big like fireplace. And then I guess the industrial forge will be part of that. And it's going to be a pretty modern design, so it's going to be mostly just a square. I don't know if you would be able to do this on official. Probably not. You might have to do something with quarter walls instead, trying to build around it. But there we go. Yeah, I think something like this, because then here at the bottom, you know, we could just have a functioning industrial forge, and then we could build this up for the different layers, and then maybe, let's say this is like in the living quarters, we could have a normal fireplace going into this as well, and kind of just keep going till the next layer. So let's kind of make sure that we set this apart a little bit. I feel like I added a pillar somewhere here that I didn't want to add. Oops. Now I deleted my whole forge. Didn't want to delete that. There we go. So yeah, we got the forge going on, and that chimney is gonna go raise up through all the layers that we'll be building. I think that's gonna be a nice feature. It also adds a little bit of a detail over to that side of the build, which is always nice. Which I mean, I guess we can now kind of work on separating or connecting these two, maybe like this. Is that actually, maybe we could just do it on the, oh, I actually did it exactly on the same spot. That is build a brain. There we go. So we can actually connect the two. That is quite nice. I guess is the reason that I stopped with my foundations here. Yeah, it kind of goes into the landscape. I guess you could add one more. I don't know. How much is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 already. Well, that's a decent size. I guess we don't necessarily need to make it much bigger than that. So yeah. If we wanted an entrance here, which we might want to add an entrance on this side, since we have the entrance on the other side in the middle part. I guess we could do that. And then we'll probably do a similar effect as, you know, having it kind of fall back a little bit with the actual entrances. Which I think is going to be nice to give it a little bit more of a 3D effect. So we'll do the same thing on both sides. We can have those walls going on. Why did I not do that here, actually? Because we might as well. I mean, it might not matter too much if I'm gonna skin them anyway, but might as well do that. So yeah, if this is gonna be an entrance, I guess that means we'll have some stairs going in here. There we go. Hello there, Sarge. Welcome in, welcome in. I guess we probably... I mean, I might skin it into wood, actually, this gate. But yeah, I feel like we might want to have a little gate over there so that we have another way to enter this part of the build. And I actually might make these a little bit lower now that I think of it. Hello there, Ellie. Welcome in, welcome in. So yeah, actually, let's see. Oh god, I deleted a whole bunch. I kind of need to see how high the roof needs to be for this. Let's say if we use this for the roof. I don't know what material I would want to. And then we'd probably bring this out all the way to the other side. Also means that we kind of want to adjust these, right? Because that's not totally going to be the same anymore. We'll bring these out to the side, I suppose, and that means we can adjust all of those to fit in with the new shape. So of course we'll have these in the right places, and I guess this is the final one, actually. Oh no, that's not the way to start this. So yeah, we would have those going up, those going up from these sides. I guess that could go all the way up like so. We probably want to make this too wide, so it's a bit getting a nice shape in. There is some trees that I might want to remove, at least this one. But for now, we can keep it. We can see, so I definitely want to at least fill in this layer. And then potentially we could have a window there. We could have a window over there, I guess. Also means we have a layer of quarters here. I'm not quite sure where I just placed that one. That's not something we need. Yeah, this tree is definitely in my way. That one will need to go. But yeah, if we have this, we could definitely have some windows here to the side. I feel like that's the modern vibe we want to go for. So yeah, that's going to be the windows. I think we're going to keep the wooden theme because I kind of want to have a very modern house, but with like wooden accents. So that's what I'm trying to get with these. Do I want to have maybe just to kind of make them stand out a bit? Other than that, I think that is kind of the vibe that we're going for with these sides. So we can just add the roofs. And this could be a little bit of a stables, or you could have some crafting going on here, of course. There's no ramps with... There's no greenhouse glass ramps. That would have been nice. We could have made a greenhouse out of it, but I guess that is not an option. So yeah, there we go. Because that now kind of feels like this needs to be one higher now to make this layer succeed. Because otherwise it might not work. Which is, I guess, what we'll try. Yeah, I feel like it does make sense that it needs to be higher than that. Oops, did I now just... Yeah, I think I deleted the extra wall. Yeah, because otherwise it's going to be quite difficult to design anything if it's lower than that roof. Which means this needs to be raised up as well. And it means we can have some kind of balcony maybe sticking out here in the front. I think that's probably something I want to do. We'll see and we'll figure it out. Do I have any of the skins that I might have been thinking about using, or do I just not have anything at all? I got seamless. I kind of was planning on using that. It is a little bit annoying that I do not have the glass loaded in for some reason. But yeah, possibly I might have this side building have the wide accents. Because it is quite a nice skin. No, I've got barely any skins loaded in, Coco. This is nothing. Yeah, Sarge, they're loading in the skins of nowadays. It feels like you're playing like roulette just to see which ones do and do not load in. Which is definitely painful. But yeah, at least this one is here, so we can give some of the structures. So I think the main building, at least the bottom, we're gonna do a different cosmetic. But then the side building here, I kind of think the seamless might be the way to go. It's a really good skin. And that's a little bit of texture, and again, it's just really nice. It's just very well connected, works on all the pieces. There we go. So I think if we do that, and of course we'll have some wooden accents, but we'll have a very nice clean side of the building. And then I guess if we have raised this up, we could actually finish the roof like that. Like it could be completed like that. I'm not quite sure what I want to skin that roof as. Not yet, at least. But I do quite like that white aesthetic of that building, or that part of the building. I guess now it becomes just a question of what skins are even available to me. Man, it's not a lot that loaded in, to be honest. It's not a lot at all. Not the skins I guess we do have some concrete skins here as well if we wanted to. So for example, I don't know if we want to use this skin, but like we could potentially have the middle bit. Architect's Paradise. Yeah, that's the one I wanted for the windows. But it hasn't loaded in for me at the moment. Maybe because it had an update recently. I'm not quite sure what causes it. I feel like it's pretty random, but yeah, I don't know. There we go. I mean, I feel like that could be pretty nice, actually. The concrete look in the middle. That could be pretty nice indeed. Yeah. I think I quite like that. All right, so potentially I could have some kind of entrance here, which means that I want to probably remove the large walls over there and instead have normal walls. Because at least for the getting into the top layers, we might want to use some stairs here. Stone roof. Do I want to do that? Because that would lead to this. Because then this would kind of have a door here. Because there's not a lot of room otherwise. I guess, yeah, if you wanted to go all the way up. But I kind of want to have like a little bit of an entrance here, which would cut into this main room. But that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, because we do have plenty of space down there. And potentially this could also go two ways, I guess, depending on what I build on the other side. There we go. So yeah, this would be one of the entrances basically into the base. I think we can work with that. And then I probably what do I want? Metal. I feel like we want some glass in here for sure. So something like this. And then potentially we would have the window continue up there. But we probably would have a wooden door. And again, the reason I'm using all the different materials is just so that skinning becomes a little bit easier. You know, if you're working with the K-timers, you might just want to build it out of strong material all the way through. So yeah, I could see that being a window. And then we have this nice little design. And then I guess can't really build anything on top of there yet because I don't know what the rest of the buildings are going to look like and what I need to fit in between. But I do kind of like the idea of having that entrance, you know? It feels like it's a proper house with like a front door there. And then this is kind of the garage, I suppose. But yeah, I quite like the idea of that, to be honest. Okay, so I guess probably next up is kind of figuring out the top layer here. Which I guess we now have an entrance to that. Which is right over here. I guess that is 4 wide already. I guess do we want to have a balcony on both sides? We could have a balcony on both sides. Potentially we do want to. Do I want to have a balcony over here though? Not really into the side because I don't think I want to block the view of like the entrance there. So probably do something like this. And then just to kind of indicate which would be the balcony and which would be the actual house, I think we can have this. We would have a 2 wide balcony on the front, which I think could be good. And then I guess we would have some nice supports, of course, for the next layer of the house. Let's see, how wide do we want to make those? I guess we don't have to make it as wide as below, so we could just have these as supportive pillars here on the front. And then potentially, you know, I could start the roof from here again. Which I think could be quite good. Because you would still get a pretty decent house if I just were to do this. That's still pretty tall from there. Do I want to have this any lower on this side? I guess we could have it slightly lower. Because it's quite a high building still. So let's see if we do these 3 high instead. Maybe 3 high is a little bit better up here. Because that's still gonna end up being a lot higher than that. There we go. Yeah, I think that's still fine. So it's definitely still gonna be a decent sized building because we have 2.5 more walls up here, 3 more walls up there. There we go. So yeah, but we also would have plenty of space here now for like a properly big window here on the front, which I like. And then I think here at the top potentially I'd like to do something like this. So that would connect the 2 up with each other. And I mean, potentially would probably still have windows on both sides, but at least we could kind of divide it up like this. we go. So let's fill in some of these layers at the top to get a better feeling of what we're working with. I do quite like the look of that so far. And then I think we want to bring out the normal pillars or the wooden pillars here, because again, a little bit of the wood accents even in the windows I think is going to be quite nice. And then potentially here for the top layer we would continue it again. I guess we would have to do it like that. But yeah, I can see those windows being there. That would be quite nice. And then I guess we could have a door either side or even in the middle. That doesn't really matter, but for the general feeling, I think that would be quite a nice shape. And I'm probably going to use seamless again, because we could even play around with like changing colors on the seamless, of course, to still get different effects, but with the same beautiful skin that we have, or the seamless skin, because it's really, really good. Okay, let's add in a little bit more of the ramps or the roof so that we get a bit better of a view there. Yeah, I think I quite like that as a front or back or whatever this side is of the building. I think I quite like that, and I think definitely on the inside we also want to make sure that this is looking quite nice, although I'd probably want to have some secret doors there just in case, you know, if you want to use it as some hidden storage, I guess you could, which means I could have a large wall on top of there before filling in the rest of this shape. Got this going on here. There we go. So that feels like a good support. And let's start filling in a little bit more of this floor right now. I can fill it all the way in. I guess over here we want to definitely debate on what the inside of that fireplace is going to look like here, because that is a potential interruption. Well, it's not just a potential interruption, it's definitely an interruption of the roof here. And we'll have to try and see if it works. A large window wall. Oh, I know what you mean. You mean like the whole window being the secret door, so I could open those? That's actually good. Yeah, I might do that. I've never tried that, as you probably know from when I visited yours, and I couldn't figure out how to work the keypad to close it again. Hello there, I have a question for you. Do you study your buildings or just improvisation? It's a combination. Sometimes it's just improvising. Otherwise, it's Googling for like concept art from games and movies and you know, stuff like that. So it's a mix of both. But yeah, just scrolling Pinterest or you know, stuff like that can really help get you some inspiration. Okay, so I do want to have a fireplace here. But of course it's not going to be big enough. So what I probably want to do is make sure that we can't see where the smoke goes. So we probably want to have it here. Do I want to do it like this? Yes. because then I could catch the smoke in that. Oh, that's not what I want. There we go. And I guess if we really wanted to, we could even decorate it a bit more. Give it a bit more shape. There we go. Nice big fireplace with like the tiny fireplace. And I'm hoping that we can find a nice modern one that kind of fits the wall better than maybe this one does. Okay, so this would come out here. That would then meet up with the fireplace. I would kind of actually like to have another layer here. Which I don't think matters too much if I want that. Because I would really like to enclose the fireplace into the roof a bit more. So just like that, I suppose. Because then it feels more like it's actually part of the whole design. Now, the fireplace or the fire chimney there probably needs to be a little bit high still, but we'll get there. All right, I guess it does mean that we can start filling in the rest of these layers, which also means we actually can raise up some of these layers here on the inside, because otherwise we're gonna have gaps and we don't want that. There we go. Which I suppose does mean we could have this bigger, but I kind of think I like this size like this. So we'll probably keep it like this. Hello there, welcome in, Raz. Yeah, no, I think we'll keep it like that. We might do something with supports for this, or lights for this. I don't know. I could actually have a thin beam around it so I could turn it into a light. That might actually work. That could be really cool. Let's see if we have those skins loaded in. That is currently the main question. There we go. We do have that skin. Oh. But does it actually also work? Because some of the pillars are broken, but I guess the beams might still be okay. There we go. Gives us a little bit of light. I guess that might actually not be a bad addition to some of these. The thin pillar skin is not working on vertical right now. Yeah, that's what I thought. I need to... Okay. I'm going to remind myself today that I will send a message about that. See if we can get that on the radar if they don't know about it already. Because that is pretty annoying when skinning thin pillars right now. Okay, let's see. Because we could have just some nice lights along the edge here. Which I think could be a nice little detail. Brings in some color. There we go. Makes it feel quite modern all of a sudden. There we go. Yeah, I think that's quite nice. And what I think we want to do then is we'll probably add the thin beam across here, because that's quite a nice little returning detail in that case. And then I think we'll actually have the proper wall here on the inside. So for example, that could be the wooden wall. And then I also want to have kind of a window part of that, to be honest. So maybe like that could be a window or the wood accent, and then we could have some big windows at the side as well. There we go. And then I guess the top layer we need some wood. Oh, do I also see Mr. Hell in here? There we go. Look at that. We got the whole group together. These light pillars, these are from Modern Structures, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. Alright, let's add another layer of these roofs on top of the wall we've just made. So yeah, then we have the walls. Everything that's metal is going to be a window. I guess for now I can change these to these windows so we know what a window or where the window is going to be. We have a little bit of a wooden accent there. I think that's quite nice for the walls. And then hopefully we'll do a little bit of a relog later on to see if we can load in with the windows that I want to use. At least for some of these. For some of those I might look into maybe like a cozy cabins that also has some wooden windows. Although the frontier ones definitely also work, to be honest. Like, there's so many nice skins nowadays. There's a lot of changing a build just by changing the skin you apply to it. But yeah, I quite like the vibes of this place so far. Actually, what we're gonna do, I think, is we're gonna apply some of these seamless skins so that we can see what this looks like. And I think on the edge here, I probably also want to have that be seamless. There you go. I quite like the look of that already, to be honest. Awesome. That speeds things along. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. All right, just the last few to kind of get a better view of what we have made so far. So this is part of the supports, that is part of the chimney that's separate. But yeah, I do quite like the look of that, especially also with like the concrete below here. It's the first layer, so I guess this layer would have a little bit of that going on. Do I need to worry about that divider? Because the light kind of does it nicely already. Do I want to have maybe a little bit more as a divider here? And I might honestly actually be something wood to have that wooden accent return again. Which we'll find one of the wood skins that we like. There's so many. We're gonna have to pick one. All right. Quite liking this so far. The shape of the build. And I guess then the next corner here is probably just gonna be just that. Which, I mean, I might actually just fill that wall in, because on the other side we have that support. So I might just do that. Let's see, actually. We would have this continue upwards. Let's bring this whole way through. I think that's pretty much the same. So yeah, there we go. That would be it. We would have to fill in that top layer. There we go. So here on this side, of course, we could place them on the ceiling there. We could start with this. We could have another, oops, secret door to get started with. Awesome. There we go. So yeah, now we just want to make this all fit just as the same as on the other side, which definitely means we'll get plenty of space here on the inside. So I guess here, after the first 3 layers, we want to bring this across. There we go. Which I guess means we can also fill in the ceilings. And then the top layer of those ceilings. And I feel like I've misplaced a few. There we go. It always happens. Always happens. And then we'll have a layer. Oh, a layer in the inside. Thanks so much, Raz, for becoming an architect. Welcome in. Means you've got early access to videos as well as access to the exclusive templates on Discord. And some cool emojis. And a rank on Discord. And I think that's it. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for the support. Hello there. Welcome in. Welcome in. Alright, let's add these 3 layers of the roof so that we can at least make the wall on this side as well. I'm pretty sure we're just gonna do the same window design, because yeah, I think that's just gonna be the nicest for this layer, honestly. So probably just do a very similar effect over here. There we go. Just like that, and that fills it in. I kind of do want to try now the windows with the key lock combination, now that Sarge mentioned it, because that could actually be really cool. And let's see if I can actually figure it out. So I'd want to have basically a window like this. Right, so it's all secret doors. And then we can have a keypad, which potentially I could just have over here. And then how do I do this? It's unpowered. So I need some power. I can do that. So I set the pin code. You will never be able to hack me, guys. Okay, let's try those 2 first. So if I now do this, they both open. Okay. And if I then do this again. Wait. Does it not do that? Deactivate clothespin. It does do that. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. I figured it out again. I had to figure this out last time as well. Last time I don't think I figured it out. I just thought it was broken, but it's actually my skill issue. There we go. So yeah, if I do that for all of this, then it should all open at the same time, guys. And basically, that means we can automate our windows to open whenever we want. So instead of having a door here, we would basically just do this. And look at that! The whole window opens. That's so cool. Yeah, I think that's definitely a feature we're gonna use in this build now. I totally forgot about you using that, Sarge, and this is, yeah, I should have, I don't know why I didn't try it, because I liked the option. I guess I was too confused last time. Okay. I guess it's a little bit of prep work, you know, to set it all up. Also, let's make sure that we actually close all. Yeah. So I guess over here we probably want to have then the double wooden pillar there. And at least one wooden pillar or beam at the bottom of those. And then the rest of this kind of depends on the shape of it all. But I suppose that at least this one here, that one can stay for sure. So this would be another one. I guess that could also stay. And then if we have a gap of 3, that would actually line up kind of the same way over there. Which, I mean, it's mostly the same for that side. I guess on this side in general, we just need to kind of figure out what it's going to look like, to be honest. Because, of course, this is totally different. So I could just have a large wall there. I guess those stuck around. because this whole thing is different anyway. Right? So I could have these. And then probably could be just a whole line going across. Just as we have over there. I feel like that is quite nice if that lines up with each other. There we go. That is not where that needs to be. Awesome. Yeah, so pretty much we have these same kind of features here on the side, which I think is going to work out quite nicely. Of course, here in the middle, we'll have something different because that's going to be a connecting part of the two different buildings that we'll have, but we would have that wooden feature going on here again. I guess we probably want to keep that the same. I mean, it kind of depends on what's going to go and happen over there, of course. So it's slightly different because I think on the other side we still have a little bit of the wooden element above it, but for this side it makes more sense to have that element continue. And then of course over here it's going to be different altogether because, well, we're going to have this entrance here, which I guess just means that we'd want to shape the stairs in. There we go. And we can always see how we want to integrate that into the main design, I suppose. But for now, we'll keep it at that. Because the most likely thing is that will, at least the sides of this would be concrete. Right? That is kind of the vibe we would be going for. Which I guess means that, I mean, the stairs could also be concrete. That would fit the easiest. I guess we could make all of this concrete. Not opposed to that thought. Nice concrete entrance. And then we would have some of the wooden beams here at the bottom. Let's not do too much in the middle yet because we kind of don't know what is going to happen there. We want to have the lights in front of these window sections though. And I guess for now at least, we can definitely change these to the frontier skin just to know and see that those are windows. That's quite nice. Let's also add these lights in. There we go. And I suppose we can also add in the seamless skin in a lot of these spots. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. We'll want to probably skin all that. I guess whole roof just to get a little bit of the idea, but I'm liking what we have going on so far. I wasn't really planning on streaming today. I've been in a bit of a ARK builder's block for a while, and I'm slowly coming out of it. I almost thought I had to retire, guys, but I'm back. I've done a few builds. I've posted a video today which I really like, the log cabin I did here on Valguero. I really like that one. That was the first build that got me back, because I've been really enjoying building in Enshrouded. Yeah, I think I've recovered slightly. And then I was on my way home in the train today, and I got some inspiration to do the modern building, and so far so good. And I figured, you know, why not? Let's stream. It's been a while. I'm still alive. I'm still here. I haven't retired. I'm still going. Not going anywhere. All right. Yeah, I think I like that. Now it's time to figure out the second part here. It's funny you say that. The log cabin is nice. I'm thinking of building it in Enshrouded because it was actually an Enshrouded building that inspired me to build that in ARK, which is how I got my creative flow back in ARK. Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't healthy for me to finally play a different game for a while and do some building somewhere else. I guess I do need some quarter ceilings. No, I'm not going anywhere. Still here. Not going anywhere yet. Let's see. I think I want a window here, and I actually think we have the really cool opportunity to probably do it totally different from what I've just done. I don't know what I did. I wasn't paying attention there, because of course what I want to do is have these here in the middle. There we go, because now potentially I could have a really awesome window that could be right there in the middle, and actually it would have been really smart to do more of that, but I could still do that. because I could now do these up here, and then I could have one in the middle, you know, saving on those structures wherever we can. And then we can have those around. I guess I don't really need the quarters there. I can do normal things there. And then we have a really cool little window that's built into the wall. Right at the middle of the wall. There we go. We like doing fancy things like that, I think. And then, of course, we can start working out the slope of this. But yeah, that adds a little bit of depth to that wall, you know, having the window there in the middle. And then I think we're gonna have a big modern looking window over here. Let's see how tall that is going to be. Because I guess this is gonna keep going now. Starts quite low, but you know, it ends up being quite high in the end because of ARK slopes. Which I guess isn't necessarily a bad thing, to be honest, because that means that this slope will end up right over here, which we can then connect to each other. It's gonna go a little bit further. There we are. Which kind of connects that interconnecting bit with each other. Yeah, which does mean that we can have quite a tall modern window next to it, I suppose. Yeah, I think we can do that. Or do I want to have it one lower? I maybe want to have it one lower because it's a little bit thin at the top there. So I might want to do that instead. Yeah, that looks a little bit better, I think. So I actually have a rather special idea for this side. So it's not just going to be the same kind of building. And if we can figure out a way to work in a greenhouse here, I think that would be really cool. So that would be the line of the roof, of course. Which means, at least for this side, we can continue the outside line. Because that will give us a little bit more of a clue what kind of the shape of that building is going to look like. So I want to keep that going, I think. There we go. And then for the next layer, what we're going to do is we're going to start adding a wooden part up here, which is going to start out like this. I don't know. Kind of have to figure out now a way to make this work properly. I guess this would kind of have to go through all the way. And now it's kind of confusing. Let's make a layer that we're working towards. So let's say that this is the base layer. That's the one we're working towards. How do we fill that in? I guess that is now the main question. There we go. We got some of the gaps and nothing to worry about. But now this is not right. Okay, so let's see if we could fix that. I guess this side we couldn't change. This side we could, but that doesn't fit anymore. So I guess if we're gonna skin it anyway to different wood textures, I guess we can fix those little gaps. Because yeah, if this is gonna be the main floor, I guess this is where the window is going to be. And then I would probably go too high for that wall before adding the roof to it. Not entirely sure yet where the greenhouse section would be. I'm just seeing if what I had in my mind actually will work, or whether this is going to go too extreme. It does not meet up with the roof, which is perfect. Because this would fit into the build. I guess that is gonna go until around there. Should go. So that should be roughly the shape of the roof. I think that could work. So yeah, this is where we bring in a lot of the wood, which I think is quite a nice contrast with it all. I guess I want to have a large wooden wall now. And then we could maybe just filter for wood. Get a bunch of those things on my hotbar for now, so that I can just work on the top layer here first. Figure that all out. That's awesome. So yeah, we probably want to just fill that in. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. This is the one I wanted to add there. And I guess on top of here we'll need some quarters. We can have a full wall there. And a slope wall here. There we go. So yeah, then we're probably gonna have another window over here somewhere. Do I kind of just build this up to the roof? I might do. Because we want to have it a bit different from what we've just done, so we don't want to do the exact same thing. So we would have 3 layers of roofs in total. Let's fill that in for both sides. There we go. Okay, so this would then be a big window, of course. So yeah, most of that. Oh, most of this would just be one big window. Could even have a little bit of those lights return here as well, so that we kind of match the other side. We could have these gaps filled in. And then I need a metal slab wall. So yeah, we're gonna just have the window run up all the way to the roof over there. Just to have it different than the other side. And then we're gonna have to figure out the middle section here for sure. So right over there these like 3 at least are going to be part of, well, whatever this is going to be. I think we'll have this one going on. And I think we'll have those beams at least. So we'll probably have like a window going on there. Because I feel like that's only fair. And then I guess we'll try to figure out the exact layout of this spot here. Currently do not have a greenhouse place yet. We'll see. I mean, it's not unnecessary, but it would be really nice to have somewhere. Not sure where we could do it. Maybe a small one somewhere. So far we do have a pretty cool looking house though. Alright, let's think about this. Also, this pillar would definitely just continue. There we go. I guess we could just fill in whatever we can fill in here, and then over here we might have some large walls in certain spots. There we go. Alright. If I have a gap of 2 for both of those, that would look like this. I guess we could do that. I mean, I probably could continue that, whatever it is. Because that would make the most sense, I suppose. Which means I could potentially have some of those light beams going on there. There we go. Let's add that across this section too. To tie it all together still with the first building we made. There we are. Yeah, let's just fill in this side over here too. I think we're onto something. I'm so far I'm very happy with the way the building is coming together. It seems to go quite smoothly. Haven't had a lot of doubts. I mean, it feels like a pretty cool base. Especially if we can work out some spot for a greenhouse. Guess we might even be able to do that here on the top, to be honest. Like, let's say you wanted that as a greenhouse. We could do that, right? Like we could totally do that. I guess depends on the shape that we want. Oh, that's actually quite steep if I go all the way up. Let's see. I don't know if I want to go that high. That might be a bit too much. So I guess maybe we push this back one further so it lines up with the roof. right? Because then we could have these lining up all the way through. Or does that all need to be greenhouse then, maybe? Let's get some greenhouse out here. Because potentially, if this is going to be my greenhouse section, might just want to make it out of greenhouse, of course. There we go. The greenhouse door itself. Right, because then this way, needn't worry about anything. We can just have this roof on top, which should already make sure that it is now effective, right? I'm pretty sure that should be effective. Let's see. Like, that's quite a decent amount of crop plots we could place down. Oh, why did I not place the last one? That seems to be effective to me. I mean, it should be. It's like a greenhouse box. If that didn't work, ARK was doing ARK again. But no, that feels like it works. So we can kind of just fill this all in. Yeah, because nowadays greenhouse is so important, because it's not just for growing your plants, it's for your elder claw as well. And I think we can work that in a decent way. Because technically, if we're going to skin the roof anyway, it's quite easy to make it look nice. Because then you can kind of just skin it all the same. So let's say that we would have, you know, a little bit of this going around to not make it as boxy as it was. I think that is already a fine change to it. And then, yeah, if you just can skin it into something nice, because greenhouse itself doesn't look great. Although in this case, actually, I don't mind the walls as much here. Kind of fits the vibe. I mean, even that roof, it could actually just stay as it is in this case. It's not that bad. It could work. It could work there. But we'd probably make it fit in with the modern skins, to be honest. But yeah, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere for sure. Let's see. Because what I might want to do here is build those dividing walls up, and then on this side I'm fairly certain that these are just going to be some more nice windows, so that we have some nice views on the side of the building. There we go. It does also mean that we will have an additional layer of wood over there, just to fill those in. And we also, let's not forget, we have this floor, which now should be going all the way through. So somehow I added another floor to this build. Hopefully that isn't going to be too problematic. Let's see. Okay, that would be the way to connect, but probably I'd want it here. There we go. Let's see. I could make this a dividing wall, which would make it all a little bit easier. And then that would just be going upstairs. Of course, this would probably still just exist like that. I'm pretty sure that is what it looked like on the other side, at least. Like the window. Right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that would be the window. We have the staircase going up to the greenhouse layer. There we are. We're getting somewhere. Just need to fill in all the gaps. Don't forget to fill in all the gaps. So that would be another big window. That needs a little bit more. That needs a whole lot more. There we go. Okay, so let's see. I mean, I guess I could still have secret doors there if I want to utilize those as little storage places. Yeah, we would be able to reach this floor. We probably could have all the resources related to the greenhouse that we need up here somewhere. You know, you have a little bit of storage going on. Then we can go downstairs to this layer. And then this layer, I don't know what this is all going to be. It's quite a big base. There's a lot of space. But I quite like this part because we already have some like little divisions for rooms, etc., which is quite good. I think this might be... I don't know what this could be. I mean, this could be a bedroom, I suppose. It all depends on what you want to utilize it for. It can be whatever you want it to be. There we go. Pretty decent amount of space here. We have all that space, so I feel like it's only fair to add that in. So all these metal walls, of course, are going to turn into windows, which means we have a lot of light that should be coming into it. Okay, we can continue these same walls on both sides. Yeah, I guess normally that would be because there is gonna be some windows. Well, that might be different there. So for there, I'm not gonna do it just yet. Do I want to have a window here? I guess I could. Could have a window there. Why not? For this section, I guess it's now finally time to figure out what the heck is going to go on there. Because, well, we finally know what both of the sides are going to look like. So potentially, I could now just build that. But what is it going to be? I don't know. Let's see. If I do this. There we go. So we could do something like this. Which adds a little bit of extra wood in between. We have a little bit of the window going down there. And we keep the space safe on both sides. Now, the big question is, of course, the layers over here. Because potentially, I guess we could just continue these layers into this building right away. Because that is... I mean, I think this is one of the layers, right? I'm pretty sure it would be. Like, we have all this in place. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what this layer would look like. But then we also, of course, probably want to have a staircase down below again somewhere. Okay, wait. Let's figure out this layer a bit, because definitely we want to have these walls going on up until there. No, one further. Well, actually not one further, because it makes more sense to have the door there. So those would be the ones we want, and then I mean, I guess it would also make more sense if that is actually opened, because, well, we need to be able to get into that layer. So I guess these layers are just filled in manually, so we can go from this side to the other side through those entrances. Do I want to do the same thing over here? Possibly. Did I use a large wall there? I did. I guess if we look at this side now, it feels like we're getting to a full building. It also feels like I probably just should fill in this whole wall. There we go. So yeah, we have the entrance over here, which I might want to turn that into a door. Do I want to turn that into a door? I don't really know. Kind of depends on what we're going to do on the inside, I suppose. And then this up here, I guess we can just close off. And then on top of here as well, we can just kind of continue, because it makes little sense, I think, to have a window there. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's just safest to just do that, to be honest. So we have a little window there. Then we have the connecting part here. Okay, let's figure this all out. Let's see what we actually still need to do. I think for these, we definitely want to have those shapes in, which also means we probably want to have those shapes ready. Okay, and that means we'll have a window in here, because that feels fair enough for this side, I guess. I could still try to add those and see if I can get a little bit of light poking through. Not really. Maybe I shouldn't have those. Oh geez, it's gonna be a nightmare to get those out now. Oh, not too bad actually. Okay. What is next? Probably cleaning up some of these messes I've created. So for this wall over here, I think I just want to fill in what I can. Let's grab some of those. And the slope wall. There we go. And I guess I can do the same thing over here. Even though I haven't even built the outside yet. At least on the inside we can fill it in. So on the inside you kind of have the split on this layer, I suppose, of the wood meeting whatever the material the stone will end up being. Okay, that doesn't work because I copied it. It won't rotate. There we go. So yeah, that's going to be like a split wall, but I think that works. I think that looks still pretty nice. All right, so let's fill in the rest of this layer, I suppose. But we also need to figure out where the staircase might be. Which is going to be like 1, 2, 3. Maybe it should just be over there. There we go. Maybe that's all we need. There we go. Oh, this base is gonna have so much space in it. Like, look at all these different floors already. There's a lot. Okay, which means we can now start to finalize some of these areas, right? Because that could be another window. Awesome. And again, I'm mostly worried about the outside actually today. Although, whenever we can, of course, we will try to finish these areas looking decently nice. Okay, so we have this section done. Oh, we do not have a way currently to get up to that next layer, do we? So... oh, that's the outside. That's not very helpful then. I guess that's a future me problem now. Needs to have a way on the inside to get to the top layers and the greenhouse and stuff. All right, so this front feels done. That feels ready. This side, oh, it's definitely not ready. I was gonna say this side is ready as well. It totally is not. So that would be 3 high. There we go. All right. And then there's probably some large walls involved here. There we go, because that's going to be a window there. And then I guess this one could be a large wall. Oh, and then this bottom part, that's going to be the bigger question. I'm pretty sure we just want to fill that in with stone, because that's going to be the window. So yeah, that's fine. It might still be different skins, because like that bottom part is skinned concrete. That's probably going to be seamless. I'm not quite sure about this one yet. Could be concrete, could be seamless. See what vibe we feel most. So I guess I want to fill that all in. And then of course this whole section is going to be something special by itself, because it's going to have the cool window we designed. But at least for now, I want to fill all those in. These sides are going to have those quarter walls, and then we're going to have some full walls above it. And I suppose we'd have a secret door there so that we could still utilize the space. I guess I'd want to do the same over here. Because why not? You know, you want to utilize as much of the space as possible. Or at least give yourself the option, I guess. Alright, now I'm going to figure out the way to do this. I think I'm pretty sure the way was that we'll have quarter ceilings there. And then we'll have quarter ceilings here. Somehow, that is how we did it. Or the other way around, but it should be fine. And then that should work. We should now be able to fill in the sides to look like full walls. And then we should be able to have the windows right here in the middle because of those. And actually, these ceilings need to be flipped. There we go. And I'm pretty sure, temporarily at least, we'll have the frontiers there. So yeah, that is already looking the same as the front. We just need the slopes in here. And then we have the whole shape ready to go. Awesome. So now that section should also look completed. And then it's just this side. And I think that top bit there. But we should definitely be getting there now. All right. I think that even though that the top section is wood, we kind of want to keep that same kind of vibe going. So we want to have that kind of pillar continue. Do I then want to make this too wide? I might want to, actually. Not actually going to make that any wider because that's going to be weird. So I think what we'll do is we'll probably have those pillars here to still give a little bit of that effect. Oh jeez, I did not want to have that in there. All right, we'll have some of those. And then I guess we'll just have normal windows here at the side. No weird effects. Just a plain up window at the end. There we go. I think that covers most of these sides. Of course, this up here is also going to have windows. I mean, this down here is also going to have windows. And I'm going to probably set up these same kind of keypads as we have on the other side, to be honest. Because I quite like that idea. And then on top here, we're not going to have the keypads, but it's probably going to be windows at least. I mean, it feels like it should be windows. Especially if there's going to be another floor up here. There could definitely be a floor there. I don't know if I want to necessarily have a floor there. I guess we at least want to give a top to this beam going across from one side to the other. I mean, yeah, it definitely makes the most sense to have windows up here. There we are. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have the opposite windows have opposite codes so they don't open at the same time necessarily. There we are. So yeah, I'm gonna do a quick restart in a little bit just to see if I can get the skins working that I want to add. But the general idea is definitely here. And then I don't think I want to have any windows on this side, but I might want to have some of these supports continue. There we go. And I suppose technically We might want to have those at the bottom again, and then I guess we'll want to fill in the rest of these supports. There we are. And just these slope walls. Oh, I forgot to do a bit here. And now we want to have the final slope walls. There we go. So yeah, those supports would all be, of course, in the seamless skin. There we are. Okay, good. And then I think for these sections, we're just going to add in a little bit more wood. Because even though we have the wood building to the side, we don't have that many wooden accents in this main bit yet. So I think we can add a few like this. And then just kind of fill in the whole wall. Because I don't think we'll need windows here. We could if we wanted to. But for the most part, I don't think we need it. Because otherwise we're just going to be looking at the other building. But yeah, all in all, that makes for a pretty nice building. So, oh no, we want to have this fireplace coming up by a little bit more. So I think I probably want to have it like 2 higher. Yeah, about that height seems to be perfect. Which probably means we want to have like, you know, a bunch of like fireplace or campfires and stuff on here. Just to create smoke. And then if we have a pyromane on the inside, on the top layer, it probably should power. So yeah, I probably want to have something like this. And then I think if I do this, that will probably look quite nice. At least from the sides, that's going to look quite nice as a modern chimney. And then, I mean, I think we want to fill this in a little bit. I want to, of course, have a little bit of smoke coming out the top, probably. But maybe something like that could work. There we are. I think that looks quite nice. I mean, it would kind of work if that is also seamless, the bottom layer. Because that kind of would return. And we could still paint some of the seamless, of course, so that we have slightly different tints. Maybe like a with a few of those different skins, hopefully. Let's see how far we can get it. Let's see. If we load in, yeah, we're back in. All right, let me just get back into creative without showing all my passwords. And then we just have to wait for cosmetics to load in. Oh, those cosmetics loaded quite quickly. Let's give it a little bit, see if it loads in some of my wanted cosmetics. So far, it doesn't seem to be. It's always a bit weird, the order of things that load in. I guess the lights haven't loaded yet. It's always a question, but in general, I'm quite happy with the result of this. I'm quite happy with the way it's looking. And there's definitely many ways you could skin this build and make it look cool and awesome. Definitely many ways. All right, in the meantime, let's delete one of these ceilings. Let's get a... Do we just want to have campfires in here? Is that gonna do it? Is that gonna cause enough smoke? I guess you also have bonfires, right? Or what is that? Oh, there's wasteland lights. But that might be too tall. I was gonna say I could have these, but those flames might be visible. Hello there, Crimson. Welcome in. Alright, so if I have a bunch of those in here, potentially that will be visible if I have a pyromane. Oh, the lights are on. Let's see. Let me get a pyromane in here. There we go. Let's get some raw meat in here. Hello there. Welcome in. Welcome in. Okay. Let's power some flames. Well, powers this one. Hopefully it also powers the ones. All right, let's try this again. Oh. Yeah, that's such a cool trick, Sarge. Having all the windows open at the same time. Okay, but now this should be causing... It's not really getting a lot of smoke, is it? I guess now we could easily try out some different things. Yeah, what is giving me smoke? Is this giving me any smoke? Not really. Not really. I guess the fireplace... Is the fireplace just the best for getting smoke? I guess it is. So maybe I have to lower this. Because the fireplace is definitely gonna stick out otherwise. So maybe over here? But no, that's still too low, I think. Oh. I've exposed my inside. Let's see if this would be... Is this gonna stick out? Oh, that's fine. Okay. So I could have a layer of ceilings here and that should all work, but also let's make sure to fill this layer back in. There we go. Which might actually be perfect because we could have a few fireplaces here to generate a decent amount of smoke. So I could have one here in the middle, one there to the side, one there to the side. just gonna generate a bunch of smoke in there. There we go. That seems to be more like it. Now it feels like that's an actual chimney, right? All right, let's see if my cosmetics have in fact loaded in. I think I got the one I want. The clear glass skin. From Architect Paradise. So we can have a nice glass here on the balcony. There we go. I also want to change these windows for sure. Those can stay frontier for now. They might change into something else, but at least it will be wood themed. That LED strip does work quite well. And then now we can add these in. I probably want to have a LED strip there too, actually. Feels like that would be only right. Can't be bothered grabbing those skins again, so we're just gonna try and copy it and hope that we got the right one. I did not. Is that the one? There we go. Awesome. So yeah, I think we can have all of these now turning into those nice clear glass windows that I want them to be. And that's going to definitely give that modern feel to a lot of this. Which is great. Which also means we can do that for the top layer here. And again, I'm probably not going to skin everything right now. We just want to get the general feeling of the build. And this is definitely giving me the right feeling. This is definitely what I was trying to go for. I'm honestly just thinking that for the greenhouse as well, I'd probably just go for the same skin, but we just know it functions as a greenhouse up there. I'm not sure about the top. I might keep this in, honestly, if it's a greenhouse. Yeah, I think that would be quite nice. Do I want to... I kind of want to have the wooden vibe there, I think. Same as over there. So at least from the front, that's all the skins we want. I guess I could do a few of these windows, but again, I'm not going to do all of the build right now. I'm just mostly want to make sure that the front looks nice, because I've probably misplaced some structures, and I need to, of course, fix up the interior, because some of these places don't have using a lot going into menus to change things. So we'll see, because that might mean end of the stream if I try to use that. Ooh, that is quite nice, actually. That is quite nice. I might actually use that as a floor for one of these buildings. Because that's a nice contrast as well at the bottom. Yeah. Okay, for now we're going to just use that for the entire floor. I don't know if I'm going to use it for the entire floor. But at least just to give the bottom layer a skin. Actually, it might be very interesting to see what that looks like on the roof. Yeah, we got one issue with the roofs, and that's that the seamless skin seems to poke out a little bit. Which, yeah, we have to find a skin that hides that line, basically. That makes sure that we don't see that. All right, so what I want is, and this might be the end of me, is I think I might want that wood. I think that would look pretty good. Now, have I been smart, and do I have the other gun on here? I do not. So there's a gun that can also copy the settings of a skin. So not the skin itself, because I have the gun that copies the skin. But there's another one that you can then use to copy the exact settings. Which is what I might want for these. Because I might want to keep that. But as I said, recently, when going into these menus, my game has been known to freeze for like a while. So let's hope we get streamer luck, and otherwise it might mean the end of the stream. Hopefully not, because I would like to have a nice overview of everything. Oh god, there we go. So this is what happens to my game. And sometimes it fixes itself, sometimes it doesn't, but usually I get stuck. And I've tried everything. I've reinstalled ARK, I've reinstalled all my mods, I've verified everything. And I don't know why, but it keeps happening in menus. And it is not a problem for most of the time, until you have to change a lot of these skins. And then you kind of just get stuck. And then this is what I look at for a while. This is also definitely not helped by my build motivation. But yeah, the Golden Dynasty, I know it's very oriental. But yeah, I don't know why it gets stuck. I feel like it might be related to all the new changes they've made to cosmetics recently, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, this might be game over here. Let's hope that it comes back. Sometimes it comes back. But it hasn't given me the message of the application is frozen and crashing yet. So you know, ARK does what ARK does. And you know, you got to be strong to play ARK. But I really would like to give an overview of what we've built today before we end this stream at least. So let's hope it comes back. Please, ARK. Please, ARK. Come back to me. Please? Please, please, please. It might just be on PC. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think ARK is frozen for good now. And it is gonna crash, yeah. Alright, let me just log back in, because I would really like to end with an overview. I would really like to do that. Also, I think I might have a new giveaway to start after the stream as well on my Discord, so it might be worth joining my Discord in the meantime, because I might have just received a code for a new cosmetic that is I'm I'm pretty sure that's just released. So I might be doing a quick giveaway, which is very timely for the season. I haven't actually looked at all the new mods that I've released today because I kind of just prepared to stream today, which I wasn't expecting when I was going home after work. But I got the inspiration. So yeah, let me make sure to join. But yeah, I will be doing a little giveaway for an extra skin. It's always nice if we get the opportunity to do that. So I'm gonna say thank you very much, Sandy, for sending me the code. I might check out the mod. I'm assuming it will have a mod page because it's out. So we at least can take a look at that at the end as well. And then I'll start the giveaway on Discord after my stream. All right, loading back in. It's going to be slightly annoying that we're not going to have the full wall now. But at least we're back. And it's going to take a little bit for the wall to appear anyway. Some skins are faster than others. But in general, I am very happy with this lakeside base. I think it's quite cool because you have a decent amount. Well, you have a lot of space at the bottom there. Right? We have so much space. We have this whole section. We have the main big section here in the middle. That can fit quite a few things, few tames. We have an industrial forge. You could have a replicator easily down here somewhere. There's definitely a lot of room here at this layer, for sure. The bottom layer, plenty of space. There we go. We got some windows popping in. Then this layer actually also has a decent amount of space. We just need to build a staircase to go up to the other layers. We have a nice entrance here. Oops. We have this main layer, which actually has a ton of space too. And then I'm probably going to have another floor here for like a bedroom up here, something. And of course, we have got this really cool feature, thanks to Sarge, which, that actually opened it. So I need to do this, which can open or close the windows, which is definitely really, really cool. There we go. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. For, you know, I didn't even know I was going to build anything today. And now we've got a whole new build. I do need to do some finishing touches. Yeah, that window is all secret doors combined with the keypad. So they're all in the same code so that the keypad opens all of them, which Sarge recommended to us. And it's a really cool feature. Yeah, Sarge, you've now given your secret to the wider world. But you know, you gotta share the secrets. Some of the secrets need to be shared. Everyone deserves a chance to use them. But yeah, in general, I think it's gonna look quite nice. I think I might go for that for the Golden Dynasty wood whenever it pops back in. I think I might go for that. I quite like the look of that. And it is a really cool cosmetic. Even though it's a premium one, of course, you need to get it. There is definitely enough alternatives, because even just Frontier skins probably would look quite decent. But yeah. And then I'm going to have to figure out a roof material. I might actually just go for, you know, using seamless on the roof. And then just painting that in a different color. Because that at least would get rid of the little, you know, the little lines. Something like that. But in general, I'm quite happy with what we've managed to build today in one stream. Okay, I'm gonna sorry guys, I'm gonna have to, well, I don't mind the pillars so much because we can't see that from a distance, but oh, at least the wall's now done. Yeah, that's quite nice. That is quite nice. All right. Concrete, yeah, could be. I don't know actually what kind of material I would like the roof be made out of. So I might play around with some skins whilst I do like the interior and finish up the design, and then, you know, work on the video of this build. But in general, I am pretty happy with this. I think this is quite a fun build. Quite a fun build indeed. I hope you also liked watching along. It's been a while since I did a full build on stream. I realized that. So I was like, you know what? Let's prep, you know, let's make sure that I'm ready to do this kind of thing again, because Lost Colony is hopefully about to drop. And I'm sure we'll do a few builds there. There we go. Look at this. Look at that. What a beauty. What a beauty. Steampunk, but the steampunk would be the golden variant because it's all ramps. It would be all gold. And I don't think that would make for a good roof for this modern build. It's all ramps, it's not roofs. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. This looks quite nice to me. I'm very, very happy with the result. Yeah, that was fun. Alright, so before I end the stream, let's head over to the mod page. Let's see if I can find the mod page of the mod that I've just been sent a key for, which I will be giving away on my Discord. So if you haven't already, join that. You can join it by the link in the description. I think this would be a great time if my Streamlabs board would now send the link, but it probably is not gonna. And I don't know if I've set up any commands, because I'm a great streamer, guys. I'm great at this. Let's see. Does it even have commands? I don't know if I do. Nope. Apparently not. Apparently not. Alright, let's see. Oh, I did! Oh, I actually do! Look at that. Okay, so... let me find this cosmetic. There we go. I found it. This is the one. This is the one. Winter Workshop. It's just been released today. Brand new. Christmas themed, of course. And I've got a key for this one. So that will be going up as a giveaway on Discord right after I finish streaming. It does look quite cool. Not sure if everything, because this grass I think is from Cozy Cabins, but maybe there's more grass in here, which would be... Grass is always good. Looks like there's definitely a lot of decorative options if you want to go crazy in your base for the holidays. Oh, and actually some of these structures look very, very nice as well. Also not for just the holidays, but just in general, they look quite nice. These streets as well. I wonder if that is part of it, because that would be quite cool. Definitely looks really, really festive. Oh, some of these decorations though, they are very, very nice indeed. So I'll probably do a very short giveaway for this, so you better be there quick. If you see this later, it might be too late, but then it's still worth joining Discord, because you might be able to join the next giveaway. Look at that. Yeah, definitely has got the Christmas vibes going. There we go. Awesome. All right, so that is the one. We're giving away a key for that on Discord right after this stream. And hopefully you enjoyed the stream today in general, because, well, we did some building. We did some building for sure. I'm very happy with the result. I hope you liked it. Yeah, I think we had a good one. We had some good building going on there. I will finish up the base completely, and of course then it will be a video, probably a tutorial as well, because yeah, I quite liked the way that came out, and I think it could make for a really useful base in survival. There's definitely enough space present there to make for a nice base. But yeah, fun being back on stream. That actually went way smoother than I expected. I have, as I said, have been having a little bit of a builder's block, but I think that might have been more in my head than actually not not being able to build anymore. So no, don't worry, I'm not retiring. I'm fully back, and we'll blast this year out with hopefully some really cool builds and hopefully some Lost Colony content bit too. Maybe. Let's hope. Let's stay positive. Let's hope we get some Lost Colony action in like 2 weeks. That would be cool. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, of course, if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any video or any stream. And then, yeah, as always, I hope to see you in the next video or the next stream. And for now, thank you so much for joining, and goodbye.